everyone. So today we're going to talk about the INFP cognitive functions in depth. Have you ever wondered how your mind works as an INFP? In today's article, we're going to, not today's article, I'm so used to being the writer. In today's video, we're going to break down what's called the INFP function stack. What are the cognitive functions? So, the cognitive functions tell us the unique ways in which you specifically use your mind. They refer to different ways of processing information, making decisions, and understanding the world. By breaking down the 4 components of an individual's cognitive function stack, you can gain greater insight into how you as an INFP think, act, and feel in certain situations. Let's talk about the dominant function of the INFP. Introverted feeling, or FI. Introverted feeling focuses on what is essentially important to the self. The INFP asks questions like, what matters to me in the long run? Am I being authentic to what I really believe and value? What are my emotions telling me? Is this worth it? For the INFP, living in alignment with deeply held core values is crucial. Honoring others' core values is also crucial, unless they violate each other's values by their very nature. For example, an INFP who strongly believes in animal rights might struggle to make peace with a friend who values hunting and fur trading. When INFPs approach life, they're constantly looking for things that are of emotional value to them. This doesn't usually mean money, objects, or prestige. Often it means something intangible, an intangible value, the human values that show up at the end of life. They want to end up on their deathbed being happy about what they did and who they were. They want to say to themselves, that was a life well lived, and I did what I meant to do, and I did it honestly. Introverted feeling puts INFPs deeply in touch with their emotional responses. They storehouse their emotional responses, historically organizing them and pulling them out when the situation requires it. For example, when they're talking to a friend about the loss of a parent, they may immediately pull from the grief storehouse in their emotional data bank. Being allowed to re-inhabit their own grief enables them to empathize deeply with another grieving person. INFPs engage in this process so naturally and so rapidly that it can feel to them like they're absorbing the other person's emotions, when really they are empathizing by reaching into themselves and identifying the closest emotion they can find to the one the other person is exhibiting. Introverted feeling gives INFPs a certainty and purpose in their lives. They get gut feelings when something doesn't feel right to them, and when healthy, they honor those feelings. If they are asked to verbalize those feelings, they may get flustered because the depths and complexity of those emotions can be difficult to explain in rational black and white terms. Because INFPs are so aware of this inner compass that guides them, they are gifted at bringing other people to the center of themselves. They urge people not to put on a mask or a facade and to really be honest about what matters to them on a human core level. Let's talk about extroverted intuition. Extroverted intuition is the auxiliary function for the INFP. This is the part of the INFP that likes to explore, imagine, and create possibilities. This part of the INFP asks questions like, is there another way to look at this? What possibility does this bring to mind? Can I imagine this another way? How do these ideas or situations connect? When INFPs are out in the world, they can see one thing and immediately be pulled into a kaleidoscope of possibilities relating to that one thing. For example, they may see a collection of rocks by a stream and be pulled into imagining a story about the rocks as entities traveling down a stream and carrying on conversations and relationships. Still more ideas might be gathered by considering the consequences of additional events, such as a storm coming and changing the landscape, or having dinosaurs come out of the water. Extroverted intuition also gives INFPs a great capacity to see patterns and make connections between seemingly disparate things. They can quickly jump from one concept to another, connecting ideas and seeing how they fit together. For example, how is a dog like a steam engine? Well, dogs bark like steam engines whistle, and they both need fuel to function. Extroverted intuition enriches the imagination of the INFP with many interpretations of the world. They are able to imagine multiple perspectives, create vivid worlds they've never actually experienced, or hypothesize about a dystopian future even though they've never been in one. For INFPs, extroverted intuition is a means to add fullness and possibility to life. The INFP who is in touch with their intuition is able to think outside the box, create, imagine, and evolve. They also can help others with their intuition by dreaming up unconventional solutions to problems, or inspiring others to be open to ideas that may lead them down new and exciting paths. Let's talk about the tertiary function, introverted sensing, or SI. Introverted sensing is the part of the INFP that preserves meaningful memories, life experiences, and routines. When INFPs are in touch with introverted sensing, they ask themselves, what familiar pastime would stabilize me right now? What's the routine for this? What are the details of the situation? What are the facts that I know and trust from experience? Because introverted sensing is in the tertiary position for INFPs, it isn't as natural as intuition or feeling. However, INFPs still value this function and enjoy spending time in its energy. They enjoy familiar routines, old stories they grew up hearing, or watching movies that have some kind of nostalgic value. Introverted sensing also helps INFPs stay grounded in the real world. This is the part of the INFP that notices details, creates consistency, and relies on facts. When INFPs are interested in a particular subject, you can see that introverted sensing come up. They may learn every possible detail or fact they can find about that subject. They may be drawn to collecting memorabilia or keeping a detailed record of their lives via journaling. At times, they may resist new experiences, preferring instead to be in the comfort of the familiar. They get a very real sense of joy from revisiting smells, sights, and tastes that have a familiar memory associated with them. At times, introverted sensing can feel destabilizing for the INFP. They may find themselves hyper-fixating on the past and embarrassing or unpleasant memories. Or they may end up collecting massive amounts of random items that give them comfort or remind them of someone or something, but then clutter their home needlessly. At times, they can apply so much sentimental value to items that they can struggle to get rid of anything. Extroverted thinking is the mental process that focuses on segmenting, organizing, and systematizing tasks. This is the inferior function of the INFP. It is also concerned with logic and evidence. When INFPs are using extroverted thinking, they ask themselves questions like, what's the most efficient way to get this done? How should I outline this project? What schedule should I keep to reach my goals? What's the objectively logical thing to do, regardless of how I feel? What is the empirical evidence? Because extroverted thinking is inferior for INFPs, it tends to be something they struggle with. They want to be able to be organized, efficient, and logical, and indeed they can be, but they often find having to focus on such things exhausting, especially for prolonged amounts of time. They know the importance of productivity, order, and procedure, but it's rarely something that feels natural. At times, extroverted thinking can become a source of stress for INFPs. They may notice the flaws in their systems or struggle to organize things as effectively as they want to. Or they may feel like they have to sacrifice their creativity and freedom in order to complete tasks according to rules and regulations. This can lead to a sense of feeling overwhelmed and overburdened. As INFPs mature, they do gradually learn methods that can help them better control their environment and sequence their actions to reach their goals. There's really no limit to what an INFP can do. I personally have seen INFPs who managed big organizations in a very effective way because they were mature, healthy, and they worked hard to develop that extroverted thinking side. When INFPs are younger, however, thinking through all the logical consequences that result from their situation may not occur to them. They may struggle to explain themselves logically, to debate, or to defend what's important to them. At times, they may struggle to finish tasks on time or organize their to-do list in a realistic and feasible way. These struggles may occasionally flare up in adulthood because we're human after all. None of us are perfect. What are your thoughts about the INFP's cognitive functions? You can find out more about your personality type in our ebooks, Discovering You, Unlocking the Power of Personality Type, the INFJ, Understanding the Mystic, the INTJ, Understanding the Strategist, and the INFP, Understanding the Dreamer.
Thanks for watching. Find out more about the INFP function stack at psychologyjunkie.com.